We're here to provide an update on the case that came in Tuesday night. Tuesday at 8 p.m., our 911 center received a call from a local resident who was fishing in Mud Creek, west of the Farmington Water and Sewer Plant, which is located at 1216 McMahon Road in Victor. As he began to exit the area, he came across what appeared to be human skeletal remains and clothing. The scene, sheriff's deputies were dispatched to that area and were able to determine that the remains were in fact human. The scene was secured for the night due to the darkness and remote location of where the remains were discovered. We reconvened early Wednesday morning, joined by Ontario County Coroner Terry Haskins. The scene was processed and the remains were carefully collected, then transported to the Monroe County Medical Examiner's office for identification. Yesterday afternoon, we received confirmation from the medical examiner that the remains have been positively identified as Reginald Vardon. The confirmation was made through dental x-rays. The cause of death is pending as a forensic anthropologist will examine the remains in the future. Most of you will recall that we took a missing person who was 83 at the time, was last seen alive at Main and School Streets in the village of Victor on the afternoon hours of July 15th. On the afternoon of Mr. Vardon's disappearance, the northern Finger Lakes, to include western Ontario County, experienced a significant weather event that produced severe thunderstorms, 2 confirmed tornadoes, flash flooding, tennis ball-sized hail, and numerous downed trees and power lines. We processed over 100 fire calls related to the storm on the evening of July 15th. We knew at the onset of our investigation that this storm could have played a role in Mr. Vardon's disappearance. Sheriff's deputies and firefighters searched the railroad bed on foot, and canines, including a bloodhound, were deployed for Mr. Vardon's residence in the first days of our search for him. Later, we searched the area with cadaver dogs with no alerts detected from them either. In late fall, when leaves had dropped, we were assisted by the New York State Police Aviation Unit, who searched this area by helicopter and did not pick up any sign of Mr. Vardon in the area. Sheriff's Office drones were deployed in the Victor area 3 times during this investigation with no evidence of Mr. Vardon being detected. The exact location where Mr. Vardon was located is extremely remote, with dense trees and high grass between the creek and railroad bed. Several standing and downed trees cross at this location, and Mr. Vardon's remains were on the underside of a downed tree, making it extremely difficult from air or land until you were right on top of his remains to locate them. While the cause of death remains pending, I can say that Mr. Vardon was found within 1 mile of his home by water, and Mud Creek does run very close to the apartments where he resided. While we were not able to say with exact certainty the sequence of events leading to his death and his body ending up where it was located, I can say the location and position would be consistent with him being swept away by this storm on July 15th. While this is not the ending we had hoped for, we are relieved that Mr. Vardon's family now has closure and they will soon be reunited with his remains. All of us at the Sheriff's Office offer our most heartfelt condolences to Mr. Vardon's family. We know how difficult this last 10 months has been for them and how hard it is now to process this sad outcome. We never gave up hope. Investigator LeBrake, who led this case, he's in the back of the room. He continued to search the area, follow leads, and connect with law enforcement across the nation in attempts to ascertain any information on Mr. Vardon's whereabouts. My sincere thanks to the Sheriff's Office Road Patrol, Criminal Investigation Division, Crime Scene Unit, drone operators, area firefighters, and the New York State Police, who all assisted in the search, as well as the public who called in with tips that we were able to run down. Some of them did provide information in terms of Mr. Vardon's history and his, his routine, which helped direct some of our search at the time. I also have a statement from the family that they asked us to read and provide to you. This is from Mr. Vardon's daughter Kim, her son Ron, and their daughter Erica Kaiser and Dana Reed. My family and I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Ontario County Sheriff's Office, including Sheriff Sorencione, Lieutenant Martin, and Investigator LeBrake, for their unwavering support, guidance, and efforts during the past 10 months. They never gave up hope. To all our friends and family who helped in this search effort, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you to the many volunteers, most of whom we do not know personally, for giving your time walking the trails and surrounding areas, passing out flyers, and keeping up public awareness. We have a wonderful community, and it's nice to see that kindness, love, and selflessness do exist, despite the sadness and grief some unfortunately have to experience in this world. Special thank you to Donna, Scotty, Rachel, Bob, Jessica, and Holly for holding us during the past 10 months. This is obviously not the outcome we had hoped for, but knowing Dad has not been out there suffering all this time is a comfort. At this time, we ask for time to process and grieve privately. There will be a memorial at a future date, and details will be posted in our Facebook group. Kim, Ron, and Erica Kaiser, and Dana Reed. With that, we'll take questions.
So did you say that it looked like it appears as though he was in one position and then washed, things like high waters or something?
Yes, so the creek that we know, the level of the creek increased significantly on July 15th and remained so for several days. Where he was located was approximately 30 to 40 feet from the water and about 100 feet from the railroad bed. He was in between, but the location where he was found would be consistent with being, it was right in an area where the creek begins to turn from running east-west to hooking right and running north, and it would be consistent with that water pushing him over to the north.
Is there a trail or anything there?
Not really. No. Not where he was, no.
So he was just walking and basically...
He may have been on a trail where he was walking. Where he was located, there is not a trail.
Okay. The trail, is there a trail there?
Yes, over closer to the other side of the south side of the creek by his apartments.
What's the name of his apartment?
They're on East Victor Road. What's the?
Autumn Grove.
Autumn Grove Apartments.
Autumn Grove.
Yep.
Okay.
Were there any other injuries or deaths from the storm?
No, but a lot of damage. If you recall, especially in the Farmington area, we had multiple reports with the hail that actually went through car windows. It took out siding and windows on houses. This is all that storm that likely he was outside for when it came on.
You said that where he was found was about 1 mile from his apartment. How far was it from where he was last seen?
That's probably about 2 miles. Yeah. His residence from where he was last seen is in between where he was last seen and where he was located.
Is he a pretty active guy for 83 years old?
Very. Was very well known in the village of Victor. Hadn't been driving, so he did a lot of his errand running and so forth by walking. You know, the last known place he was inside the ESL Federal Credit Union on School Street in Victor. Didn't actually go in there to do any banking, just went in to say hi to the folks that worked there because he knew them, he was familiar with them. Yeah, so he was out that afternoon, conducting things that were normal for his routine.
So, storm hits, maybe he's taking a shortcut home or something, and then...
Very possible. Very possible. Yeah.
You said more work would need to be done by a forensic anthropologist to determine the cause of death. So what initially are you seeing where you would need that extra help to determine the cause of death, the condition of the body or the circumstances?
I'll let the coroner speak to that.
That would be due to the remains. There's no medical examiner's office in our county to process this, so they automatically get sent to Monroe County where they have the special team that they can look to make sure there's nothing abnormal that they find with the human remains.
Was there anything you saw when bodies were recovered?
No. It looked as human remains that had been there for many months.
Anything else? All right. Well, thank you all for coming and covering this. Sad circumstances, but like I said, we're relieved to at least bring closure, and that he was at least close to home. And you know, we were concerned because he had hitchhiked in the past, but and we wondered if he ended up somewhere way out of the area because of that, but wasn't the case. So at least now the family can grieve and at least begin to move on. So.
Actually, Sheriff,
Sure.
about that, like, from the beginning, was there ever the thought that this could have been what happened to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I know the family at the beginning, everything was on the table, so.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I would say probably 6 months ago, we began to feel that this was likely going to be the outcome. Unfortunately, I think the biggest telltale sign for us was the lack of any cell phone or bank activity since 2 days before he went missing. It's like even when people want to just go away and kind of be left alone, they're going to need their bank funds or something at some point. And when months had gone by without any bank or phone activity, it was, you know, again, that's why on our end, we continue to search that area over and over and over again with every tool that we have. But the canines didn't give us an alert, which is not, you know, for the distance and the water and all that is not normal. And then even after we had located him the other day, we're flying a drone up there at only 100 feet in the air and you can't see him. So it was just a happenstance where somebody came upon him, and we wondered if that wasn't going to be what would eventually bring us to this. So just at least thankful that they now have some closure.
So were they obscured by, I don't know, brush or?
Yep, brush, the tree. The tree was actually down, and it was a large tree, and he was on the underside of the tree. And there was another large tree right connected to the one that was down. So it's kind of like a triangle.
Could he have been killed by the tree itself falling?
I mean, potentially, and we may never know. I mean, this is a situation where the cause of his death may remain undetermined. The medical examiner, you know, I don't want to speculate, but with the remains that we have left, I'd be surprised if they're able to give us an exact cause of death.
Was that uprooted or just down from the storm?
I don't know what caused it to come down. It's been down for a while. I would say it looked like it could have been down since the time of the storm, but it was uprooted and it fell from a north to south position. So it was up closer to the railroad bed and had fallen toward the water.
So given the state the remains are in, how were you able to make the identification?
Dental records,
Are those remains mostly skeletal at this point?
yes.
Were any of his belongings found?
Clothing, shoes. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.